Tuesday evening. Welcome to another edition of the Sideline Junkies Tuesday Night Flight. It's the big guy KG. Let me start this off right before we go across the rest of the panel.
Right now is all we got. You know what I'm talking about? The greatest opportunity in the world is found in today. You understand that? We don't even know what yesterday got for us. You know what I'm talking about? Because it's already gone. Tomorrow, too far away. What about right now? What about right now? Huh? Would you give it all up for me right now? I got you. Huh? Let's go then. Right now is all we got.
Let's go then.
That's it, baby.
If an eagle ever sees a bird,
because when an eagle fly and the pigeon next to him, he ain't flying high enough. That's right.
Oh man, we got the Midnight Rider, probably one of the biggest.
And if you find yourself flying with pigeons,
somebody wanted to hear that one. We ain't gonna do that just yet. That's for later.
Well, I got a rebuttal. I'm gonna be one of the Commanders players. Like Ray, I don't really feel like it. I'm not really feeling it today. You think we could do it tomorrow? I mean, tomorrow we do have tomorrow, Ray. I mean, it's just not really up to it.
Ooh, boy.
Shots fired early.
And of course, that voice you just heard was the man that keeps the light bill paid. So we got nice things. The boss, BJ. Fellas, how y'all feeling tonight?
I mean, well, nobody was available for pre-show. Just know we on 10 today. We on 10.
Well,
I'm trying to get up this hill. Bigfoot, Littlefoot, Bigfoot, Littlefoot. I'm trying. It's a big hill, baby.
we trying to get back to our normal pre-shows, but don't worry about it. We're gonna get it. Here we go. Up first, we previewed this on Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, we're gonna start off light. Do the Commanders keep the same broadcast team beyond 2023? Now, this is a question because we're gonna start off in the NFL, talk about Commanders. You have Julie Donaldson, London Fletcher, Bram Weinstein. Bram's on a commentary on a play-by-play. Julie and London are doing your color. I'll toss this over to the Midnight Rider first. And do they stay beyond this, or do you revamp?
I think management is going to want to put its touch on the product, and I think they'll do some research, maybe in the area, maybe some of the local guys, because I think they grew up on the Redskins tradition of Sonny, Sam, and Frank. So I think they're going to try to recreate it in their own way, in their own image, something quite similar to that. So I can see it changing because London Fletcher, you can keep him. Bram is okay at best. And I think Julie's solid, but I don't know if Julie's going to stay because of her role changes. I really feel like she's going to probably try to stretch out to greener pastures or somewhere different because she's already had some of her roles her duties taken away from her. So I can definitely see this changing in the whole. I could just see this team this group wanting to rebrand itself in a way going forward that they don't have to worry about the past images. They don't have to worry about the skin tangibles. They get away from some of the old guard and brandish this thing out brand new. And maybe that comes with a name change. Maybe that doesn't. But that's one of the things I think comes down the pipeline with this group and this venture.
And I 100% agree with that. We talked on this a little bit on Sunday, and I said I think everybody has been given a little bit of rope to be pulled back at the new ownership's pleasure. When you come into something, whether if you go buy a new car, you want to put your touches on it. You want to put your stuff in the windshield. You want to put your air fresheners in, your seat covers, your rims on it. And this is kind of the same thing. And this isn't, no disrespect to anybody, but this isn't a broadcast team that's just like, this is one of the top ones in the country. This is not that team for various reasons. So I think not just the broadcast team, but everybody has that 1 year window of show me, prove it. If we like you, we might keep you around, but it's so much that goes along with keeping the pass along, especially when the pass has been under a cloud, and you never know what allegations are going to pop up that somebody else is going to be a part of that was a part of this last regime, and you just don't want that. And it's nothing against anybody there, like the Midnight Rider. It's just like you're trying to distance yourself so far away from it, so that there is no even shadow of a doubt that anything is nobody here that was with that. So we can go away from that, we can move forward, and we can build our own.
I agree 1,000%. And the way the Midnight Rider started off and what the boss BJ alluded to, the keys to the past, I think this is where management says, you know what? We know what works. And Josh Harris and company seem like they listen to the fans. They seem like we want to hear what the fans got to say, you know, putting your consumer board together. And a lot of people want Chris Cooley in the booth, because when he was in the booth for a little while, that was exciting. It really was. And his knowledge of the game and how he breaks it down, I don't see too many people like him that's able to do that. So this is where you reach out to Chris Cooley and mend that fence, get him in doing color, and I guess you get a experienced play-by-play man. Not sure who you would get, but somebody, you know. And then you, as well as the broadcast team, I think you have to include the pre and post game as well. You know, I know 980 and 106.7 do a lot of pre and post games, and they're official, but you got to be able to put those post games together, because that brings you in. And then after the game, those call-ins and those calls, no matter win, lose, or draw, keeps you there. So I think that's a good thing. So we're in agreement that this is a wait and see with this broadcast team. Let them do their thing in 23 and then see what happens.
You just don't have the time to make something work. I mean, you would normally spend January, February doing mock games to kind of put together a staff or a group that would do the games. And I think as a city, I think this city is spoiled by the quality of people that you have doing your broadcast. Whether it's your Joe Beninati's and company doing the caps, whether it's your TV side for the Nationals, Bob Carpenter and company, whether it's the radio side with Dave Jagler and company. What else do we have? We have basketball. What's your boy for basketball? It's Dave Johnson and company. You know, we have
Vodkin.
Okay, we'll talk about basketball. Yeah, Vodkin's been there forever. So we're spoiled and been spoiled by A, longevity, and B, just having quality people doing the broadcast. So the football is the only one really that we have to figure it out. And because everything else is in place, everything's been in place for the most part. I think TV just underwent its second change for the Wizards, but their radio is awesome. So it's just another thing, another day, and I think they have to figure this all out. And I would just love to see it right away, so that way you can just get moving and get momentum built up to whatever you're trying to build. Get momentum built up to your stadium and all those things.
You said something about the Wizards broadcast. I don't think they ever should have went away from Buck and Chenier. Even if you trying to liven it up or make it to a younger audience, Buck and Chenier are Buck alone. Even before they brought in Chenier, you knew Buck. Then when they brought in Chenier, it's like them two together. Like they had some great calls together, and you don't break that up, you know? And it's not like Buck was getting old or Chenier was getting old and they were messing everything up. They had great calls. You did them wrong by moving them from their normal spot off to the side where they couldn't really see the action. Yeah, I felt that the Wizards dropped the ball with that. And I don't want to see the Commanders drop the ball by bringing. I don't know. I'm trying to think who would you bring back to help do color? That's a great storyteller.
I mean, that's for them to figure out. That's why but you got to think about it. They spent $6.05 billion on this project. So I know they're going to do some research. I know they're going to put some stuff into it. Maybe you see a guy comes back on the business side or the team side, like a La Famina, because he was big with the NFL beforehand, and he was here to save Snyder from himself. But every game that he made, Snyder and company got mad because he was making gains in terms of sales and everything, and people were crediting him and not crediting Bruce and Dan. So there's another guy that's somebody NFL approved, but somebody that the NFL might just be like, hey, we need to get this off the ground. Let's use this person to get this off the ground.
Paul Cordova says Fred Smoot, LOL. Lord God, please no.
Oh, 407D.
Fred Smoot would be the only dude that finds a positive in a turnover. Well, yeah, they turned the ball over, but you got to look at where they turned it over at, and they kind of like flipping the field. So it's just like a short punt. You know, you got to look at it like that. And they can go back and get this ball. No, Fred, they fucked up. Call a spade, please.
But Fred would do a good thing.
Fred said, I'll dance for you and lick your boots.
And the thing is, I love Fred Smoot. Just when it gets down to certain things, I need him to be Mitch harsh. That's what I need him to be harsh. Call people out.
But I'm not gonna go down that wormhole.
Speaking of calling people out and being harsh, question of the night: is Eric Bieniemy being too harsh? Now, let me preface this. Ed Werder, I got it from Ed Werder. Players have
That's the problem right there. But go ahead. I'll tell you that part later.
Players have complained to head coach Ron Rivera about Eric Bieniemy's coaching methods being too harsh. And it's been a report all over Twitter about players. I don't know who these players are. Unsure what their roles are. But I'm going to let you two gentlemen handle it first. I'll give it to the boss, BJ, first. Midnight Rider, you take it, and I'll close it out.
Hey, Boogie McFarland spoke on this, and he said players are soft. And it's not just the NFL. It's all across the board in all leagues. How these players, and this is a deep rabbit hole to go in, because do you put some of this blame on Ron Rivera because they haven't seen this type of coaching, this type of energy, this type of in-your-face? Like, they should see it. They haven't won anything. We don't know who these players are. So, like, I'm not trying to be careful with my words, but these players need to be weeded out. Okay? You're talking about a man, for whatever reason, whatever the rumors are, came from Kansas City, won 2 Super Bowls, where Patrick Mahomes is going to the Hall of Fame and Travis Kelce is going to the Hall of Fame. Those are shoo-ins. Those are 2 guys that's going to the Hall of Fame. So he's played with a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback and a Hall of Fame caliber tight end. And if Tyreek Hill keeps going at the clip he's going to get in off of pure numbers. So that's 3 Hall of Famers on offense that he's touched and seen how they practice, how they do things, everything. He's been under Andy Reid, which one is his coaching tree and the respect everybody has for him around the league. So I just don't understand why this guy comes over here and all of a sudden his methods are questioned. You brought him over here because this offense has ranked towards the bottom of the league for forever. So I don't get the crying and complaining. Do you want to get better or not? And then I wish some reports come out that say who these players are. I'm hoping we get that, and they just a little, maybe a rumor mill. I need something. I need to know who these players are, because they need to be gone. And I don't know. I don't know if you guys listen to what Ron Rivera said. I couldn't really pin it. I don't know if he was throwing him under the bus or supporting him. I couldn't. I listened to it a couple times, and I just couldn't get the vibe off of Ron on where he was going with comparing Bieniemy to Del Rio and this, that, and the other, and telling the players, hey, y'all go talk to him. It just, we're used to, just like, I want him to be as upfront as he was with Cam Newton. You want Cam Newton wrong? No, absolutely not. No. That's how Ron was when you asked him about Cam Newton. No, don't ask me again. And it was like, but this one, let me skate a little bit and put my hands behind my back. I'm gonna do a couple quads and stuff, and just mosey on around the ice rink. That's all. I don't know. But this is soft. This is unbelievable that this is coming from this team. Either you want to be better, you want to be where the Eagles are, because they're nowhere near that. The Eagles are the cream of the crop. They just came from the Super Bowl. Do you want that or not? Like, it's insane to me. Midnight Rider, this is all you, baby.
Nah, so I got 2 points. I'm gonna start with the Edward part of this. Like, I don't like. See, the part of our journalism today is they'll take the topic, they'll read the line or a headline off of it, and they'll create something off of it. I mean, if we go back, and I know BJ, you said you listened to it a couple times. Like, the question was phrased asking Ron Rivera about guys having questions about the offense or trying to figure out about the workout and what they were doing. And he said, some have come to me, I've sent them back to Eric to talk about it and figure out what's going on to fix it. I think if he stops there, he's okay. Then he gets into like the Jack and the differences between Jack and Eric. And we really didn't need that, but I still took something from that because Jack does things his way. Eric's going to do his way. And Eric came out later and said, too bad, so sorry for you. I'm doing it my way. It's basically my way or the highway. And that's something that A, he's earned, and B, you got to just respect it because he knows this is his last chance. He can't go out dancing, dilly-dallying and dancing on somebody else's terms. He got to fall on his sword and go out the way, coach it the way he knows how to coach it, so he goes out the way he want to go out. So if it doesn't succeed, he knows no stone was left unturned, nothing was undone, and he took care of everything he had to take care of. That is if I'm a coach, I will always do that. If I know I'm on the cutting board, because he only got 1 year to prove this. He only got 1 year. So he got to go out swinging his way. He got to go out like that old man with that folding chair in Alabama. He got to go out swinging. He got to go out like Aquaman, that kid that swam across the ocean, the river, to get on the dock to powerbomb and punch somebody. That's how he got to go. That is exactly how he has to go. Now, let's get to the crux of the matter. In leading up to the show, I watched a episode of New Heights featuring the Kelsey brothers. And there was one segment, and this is why this is perfect for right now what we're talking about. Travis asks Jason the worst drill that you do with Andy. He's like, oh, it's simple, the drive drill. The drive drill is why all these jokers right now are complaining to Eric Bieniemy. The drive drill basically starts at whatever yard marker you start at. You advance the football. The line of scrimmage is 5 yards forward every new play. Doesn't matter what the result of the play is. You just move the ball forward 5 yards every time. So you end up going 10, 12, 15 play drives. No timeouts. That'll touch your manhood. That'll make you feel like if you want it or not. That'll let you know if you caveman enough. So every 5 yards, you're moving the football. But you can, if you run an 80-yard route and score a touchdown, you gotta get your ass back in the huddle because you playing second down from the 35, and we going again. And we're playing third down from the 40. We're doing it again. Jason Kelsey said his rookie year on play 10, they called a screen. He got out on the screen, laid down on the field after he missed his block, and Andy Reid had to call a timeout. This drill is no joke, and I guarantee you they run it here, and I guarantee you that's probably one of the reasons right now jokers is complaining or a little upset because they don't understand it, but it's iron sharpening iron, and it's making them tougher. So when you get in that situation week one, when it's 90 degrees and the humidity's high, and you in FedEx Field playing the Cardinals, it's old hand. You used to it now. There you go.
Now, see, you talking my kind of language right there. Like, yeah, that it's not for the weak at heart, that drill. But one thing I don't know. I say this all the time. I'm a student of the game. I love the game. I love the preparation of the game. And that is, though, you toil in the summer, you toil in middle of July and August so you can be sharp in September, November, December. You can be sharp all season because you did all the hard part. And these dudes talking about too harsh. Imagine going through your regular drills, but you're doing it 2-3 times a day. You're not getting done until 11. You're going to bed at midnight. You're back up at 6 a.m. to do it all over again. No water breaks. You know, that's the era we grew up in. I'm not saying, you know, that was right, but that's harsh. That's archaic. But you're complaining about this coaching style. And I said it on Twitter. We haven't won in 30 fucking years. If we keep doing what we doing, we're going to keep getting what we get. One of the main reasons when Joe Gibbs retired in 92, one of the main reasons why this team didn't stay on the level and they took a nosedive, coaching styles were different. Heard it from the player's mouth. Richie Pettibone was here, and everybody loves Bone. Everybody loves him. Hey, Bone, hip hurting today, man. I think I'm going to go ahead and get in the whirlpool. Okay, babe. That was it. There was no accountability. There was nothing. Okay, babe. You don't want to practice that? Okay, babe. Don't worry about it. We'll get it. That was it. That was it. When Marty got here, the same thing happened. Oh, he's too harsh. He has a curfew. We grown men. Why do we have a curfew? It didn't make sense the first 5 weeks. Then you started to see why he was doing it because you started showing the discipline and we had a quarterback change. The next thing you know, we reel off 5 straight wins. Everybody like, oh, that's why. It's a process. I hate the term at this present point, but trust the process. If you're not in it to win it, you're not willing to put in the work, you're not willing to do what you've never done before to get what you've never gotten, then I'm going to need you to just go ahead and pack your stuff and leave. And that goes for on any sport, that goes in life. If you're not willing to go above and beyond to go achieve your dream and achieve your goal, and the goal is to win a championship, you're not trying to do that, go ahead and leave. I don't give a damn if it was Terry McLaurin that said it. Okay. And I'm not saying that Terry did say it, but I don't give a damn if he said, hey, you got to go. You got to walk. Because I can't have that type of attitude from you.
I think some of it has to do with them trying to figure out what it is. Like, what's the goal of this? What's the point of this? We're doing this. Okay, what's the end goal, end game? And sometimes when you're coaching players, they don't understand it. Like I used to always tell my kids, if we're the same team in November that we are in March, then I failed you. This is basketball. So if we start out the season one way and we end the season the same way, I have failed you as a coach. And I think that's the part. Sometimes people see the tree, but they don't see the forest. All right. And sometimes you got to take that perspective of seeing the forest and stop being blinded by the trees that are in front of you. And I think right now, some of these players are just seeing the trees. They're just seeing that yesterday, they spent 2 hours or 2.5 hours in practice. They getting their asses handed to them. And they waking up the next morning sore as hell. So that's the thing that they got to get through, and they got to get past it. And I'm telling you right now that Baltimore, I have circled next week up at Baltimore. That Owensville trip is either going to open some eyes or it's going to frustrate some people. And some people going to get their walking papers off of that. And some people going to have some light bulbs go off and say, aha, I get it now. I understand. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we can't be pigeons. You know, if we're an eagle, you can't be a pigeon because you got to fly on a different level, baby.
So you show me your crowd, I'll show you your future. If an eagle ever sees a bird flying at the same altitude that he's flying at, it must be another eagle. It must be another eagle. Because pigeons don't fly at the altitudes of eagles. And if you find yourself flying with pigeons, you may be flying too low. So you show me your crowd,
It is.
I'll show you your future.
But Ray, here's the thing, baby. That altitude's too high for me. I'm afraid of heights. And the Eagles got to work for their food. Like, if you're a pigeon and you go to the right place, baby, they throw you bread. You ain't got to work for that. Why do I don't want to do all the work the eagle does. The eagle does too much for me. And pigeons flock together. It's a lot of us. I can have a following. Like, come on, man. Ray, talk to me, Ray. You understand where I'm coming from?
I was about to say something. I'm gonna leave it alone.
But he's on point. That's exactly the mentality.
But we can't say some. I think I'm trying to save some of these guys because I don't think some of it is coming from a place of being soft. I think some of it is trying to understand the process, and I think some of it also is you didn't have this last year. If you've been here for a minute, this is a rude awakening. You know what I'm saying? We practicing. I think JP said something like, "Oh, they were practicing like 45 minutes sometimes." Now you're here for 2 hours, shaking and baking, thumping and stumping. So it's not the same. Club J, Club Med, whatever it was, that's gone. That was yesterday. Now what you gotta do is you gotta do for me today, because you can't. Tomorrow's not promised. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow's not promised. We gotta make it happen today. I'm done with my Rayisms.
I'm gonna say this, and this is what I always thought that training camp entailed: weight training, going through the playbook, making sure you got everything. I've seen practices where the practices last for 2 hours, and you practice the same play over and over and over and over. Even if you got it down, you practice it over and over and over and over, so you can go in your sleep and it's cold and you know where to line up. Not a problem. I've seen practices that for 2 hours, they've done nothing but run sprints. I mean, I've been involved with practices where we did one play called a whole entire practice for 2 practices straight. One play call. That was it. And it was crazy because that play call, it was a base defense, but damn it, we were so Trump tight with it after the second day, it didn't matter. I'm not going to say, I don't want this to hold too much weight. And I don't want to say, well, we got a soft ass team. I hope it's just a rumor. And I hope it's like what you say. It's just guys don't understand. They just like, all right, what are we doing here? What are we trying to accomplish? You know, outside of the obvious, but what are we trying to accomplish with this? I hope, but I'm not going to say that it is. I see the ball. You got something to say?
No, I was just saying this isn't the first squabble we've heard about players complaining about him here, just in this short time here. So, and the thing is, I don't know what it is. I don't know. We're a little more old school. It just comes from a point where you never question what your coach had you do. You did it. You did it, and if he was the right coach, you want to quote unquote run through a wall for him. You want to. You want to hit at Ray Lewis' speech. You want to do these things because in your mind, your coach wants you to be better, and we're doing this so we can win and be better. So to me, I don't care what the reason is because I just don't remember this team being top 20 in offense at all. So if I bring Sergeant Slaughter in and he do your drills, y'all need to shut the fuck up and run the drills. That's just, you got a rookie quarterback back here. You got a good receiving core. You're trying to whip this in shape so that you can take advantage of now. Now we're gonna get into the race speech. I want now. Tomorrow's not promised. We got to go now. We got to play the Eagles twice. We got to play the Giants twice and the Cowboys twice. That could be 6 losses right there, because those teams are head and heels above this team on offense. Don't matter what you got on defense. We have seen in this league, I've watched it in Buffalo in the 2000s, when you have a top 5 defense and your offense cannot move the ball. And after about the towards the end of the second half, you see that defense coming out tired. It's nothing more they can do. We didn't held our own. We did this, but y'all can't move the damn ball. So I don't care what he's doing. I don't care what the reasoning is. And I do want to know who the players are. Because if it is a player of some substance, we got an issue on this team that's deeper than Eric Bieniemy. And that is Ron Rivera's fault, because Ron has been running a country club the last couple of seasons. And it shows on the field with this team and discipline and everywhere else on the field. We've said the last 2 Commanders seasons, the first 4 games, we always say they are not practicing right. They don't know what the hell to do. They have nothing lined up. That first series, they hit it, and then it's first series is good. That's it. Pack it up, boys. And that it's just like, do y'all want to win or not?
Apparently not, because this shouldn't even be a talk discussion. This shouldn't be anything. Like you said, if your coach asking you to do something, just do it. Knock that shit out and let's go. Let's go. You do it right. My grandmother, my godmother used to taught me this. You do it right the first time, you ain't got to go back and do it a second time.
In the immortal words of my guy, Coach Frank Simpson, he says there's only one way to do things, and that's the right way. And then my last comment on this, and I'm going to kind of let it go. I think we also got to remember we're fighting a narrative. There's a narrative that they're trying to create about Eric Bieniemy. So let's not buy in to the narrative and the stories that the media wants to create about this kid. This guy has done and seen success on many levels, but they've always found a way to move the goalposts on him. So let's not, like, the narrative, when even during OTAs you heard it, oh, he's yelling, he's screaming at players, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that. And this is just another thing of them trying to harp on that situation. And the sad thing is, once the national media gets on it, they're just reading clippings, and they're making thoughts off the clippings. They're not here on Monday or Tuesday looking at this team practice. They may have been on Sunday because of whatever the event was, but they don't know. They're just hopping on a story that they see, and then they'll take a couple clips from this and create a story, and they create a narrative. And the narrative has always been that this guy is tough on his players, and that's part of the reason why he hasn't gotten a job. And that's all I got, man.
And my final thought is, if being soft got you anything, what did it get you? But showing the door. Show me a soft coach.
8-1.
Show me a soft coach that's ever won anything. I'll wait. Okay. Boss BJ, you got anything else?
That's all I got, boss.
All right. Moving right along around the globe, we got a shakeup in college football. I'm going to throw it over to the Midnight Rider. Please, please, please break this BS down.
All right, so the look is not, because I'm not expecting you to come to me, but the look is, of all the people in this world that I know, the one man that is the champion of tradition, the defender of what is right when it comes to college sports, the bloviator of truth when it comes to what the Rose Bowl should be, what the Iron Bowl should be, what all these bowls should be, is my man KG. So I really thought you was going to start this off, but I will, since you don't want to champion the cause of tradition and history, because I know it's close to your heart.
Hold on. Because I didn't want to start it off, because it's the same old narrative for me. When you start messing with things, I was told that I was behind the times when they started doing conference realignment, when Maryland moved to the Big Ten. Georgetown left. The Big East dissolved basically because everybody was leaving. They had to reform the Big East, but it still ain't Big East proper. I was told I was behind the times. Get with it. You still living in the past. Yeah, but that's tradition. Tradition. And when you start messing with tradition, you're going to lose a lot of fans. College football is going to see that you're going to have the sponsorship, but you're not going to have the fans.
So I'm going to say yes or no. I'm going to say yes, you're going to have this gap. Because I don't ever remember waking up on a Saturday morning and watching the University of Washington and Ohio State playing in October. I don't remember getting up watching FSU or Clemson play against, I don't know, Vanderbilt or whoever they play against. I think the one thing that these conferences are going to play on is the fact that football is king. And that's the only way they can get away with this. Because they're funny because they will crucify these kids because they're trying to get an NIL deal. They're trying to get this money. They're trying to get the bag, as they say. But in the background, all these teams moving conferences ain't moving conferences because they want better competition. They're not doing it for the student athlete, even though I've been told time and time again, our job is to take care of the student athlete. But how can you take care of a student athlete if that student athlete has to travel from the University of Washington to the University of Maryland to play an ACC game? How are you taking care of the athlete when you got to go from Oregon to Penn State? Are we really taking care of the athlete? Hell no. All we're doing is fattening up our pockets because we're taking advantage of every TV deal we can get. The Big Ten just renegotiated its deal. So now this season coming up, you're going to get Big Ten Saturday Night Football. That wasn't enough for no student athlete. That wasn't done to protect amateurism. What we have here is a failure to communicate. You keep trying to tell me the lies. You keep telling me it's raining outside, but it's drip, 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 and you peeing on me. It's R. Kelly time. These are lies. This is bullshit. You've done everything they've done the last month has showed you that money is the king of all things. Tennessee had over 200 violations. What'd they get? An $8 million fine. You know why? Because they can possibly go to the SEC finals. Michigan coach lied to people. He got 4 games. You know what they play in those 4 games? Bowling Green, Appalachian State, Left City University, whoever. Little Sisters of the Poor. But again, we hold these players to a level of respect for the game and respect for everything else, and they can't do this. They shouldn't leave school because of money. But meanwhile, their coach can walk out the door in November before the season's over to take a new job and get paid more money. Get out of here. Miss me with that. You can leave a conference all of a sudden because it's not about amateurism. It's about the TV deal money. Get out of here. Miss me with that. But these dudes can't go somewhere to get the right NIL money? Come on, dog. What we doing? We lying. We living a lie. The lie is college sports is amateurism. Ain't nothing amateurism about college football. It's dollars and cents. It's Deion Sanders' album release. Must be the money. And let's keep it real with that. I'm sorry, I went over my time. I'll pass it on to BJ.
No, I agree 100%. I've been saying on this show for a long time that college football is 100% about money. It's been not about the student athlete for a long time. The other thing I was saying too is that with the transfer portal, you're going to see a lot of the schools that were sitting there benefiting from being a little under the table, paying the players and stuff, the big boys. Now they're going to cry and complain because guess what? The playing field is evening out a little bit, and you're going to stop seeing these. You're not going to have the traditional powerhouse schools. Because I guess what? If I can go get this money in Wright City State, I'm going to Wright City State. I'm not going to go to the big boys. I can go get my money anywhere I go now. College football has been a joke for such a long time, and it's so much money they owe to these players that that didn't get NI deals and this, that, and the other, and had their likeness and names and stuff plastered over everything. So I'm with Midnight Rider. Miss me with the BS. Keep it in your pocket. Stop telling me it's about the student athlete. Stop, like the whole Maryland having to go to Oregon and back and forth. Are you telling me that's healthy? That's healthy for the students? That's healthy for your mind? You play a football game where you get bruised and battered for 4 hours, and then you got to go back to Oregon from Maryland and vice versa? Like, get out of here, man. This is a joke. Don't get me wrong. College football is exciting and everything else, but they just need to make it pay for play. It just is what it is. At this point, it's been like that for a long time, and it's just coming. It's hitting the fan more than it's ever have. And you, like I said, you got your crybabies now that don't want it like that, because guess what? They get to sit at a big powerhouse university and get all the players and have 3, 4, 5-star recruits deep, and then ain't gonna be like that no more.
It's why they have a problem with Colorado. If Colorado starts 0-2, watch the venom that's gonna be spilled. Watch the hatred that's gonna be spewed. Watch how they come at Deion if they start off bad. They waiting for this to fail. Meanwhile, he did everything that they allowed him to do because it's within the rules that you set up. You set up the transfer portal. I just used it. You set up all the NIL stuff. I just used it. If you watch Jimbo Fisher last year, he had the highest paid recruiting class. Not the highest ranked, the highest paid. And they struggled because they didn't have the players to make it work. But I'm going to digress and let KG finishes out because I can go on and on.
And before KG take it, I'm going to say something to another power. Even if they don't go 0-2, if Colorado does any type of stumbling, whether they go undefeated and make their conference championship, if they lose there, they're gonna kill Deion Sanders. They're gonna kill that program, just like the Midnight Rider said they're doing with Eric Bieniemy. Watch your match in the media. Make sure you know the truth, and the rules are within the boundaries. Deion did everything he can do. It's not his fault that he is a polarizing figure and people want to go play for him. They know what time it is. They know that man is going to bring the cameras, lights, action, and he can turn Colorado easily into Alabama. He's going to start getting those players, and they hate it. They hate it. Absolutely hate it. KG, go ahead, baby.
Let me say this. This jumping from conference to conference, I think it should be something in the bylaws to prevent that. Like, I keep hearing talk of Notre Dame joining the Big Ten, Notre Dame joining the ACC, Notre Dame joining the Big East. I don't want Notre Dame football to join anybody because I like being an independent. Because if we join any of those conferences, we don't get to play Michigan twice every year. We don't get to play Michigan State, Boston College, Navy. We don't get to play our rivals every year. We don't get to play USC every year. That's why this jumping around is so bad for business, because you ruin the very fabric of the sport. And I say that because, speaking as a Notre Dame fan, playing USC every year is like one of the highlights of the college football season for me. The other one is playing Michigan. Playing Michigan State, playing our rivals, and hell, reeling off wins. Even when we take losses, it's the highlight of my college football season because I'm playing my rivals. When I can't play my rivals and you break that, you're breaking my heart because you're taking everything away that I love the game for, the games that I love to watch. Yeah, okay, these guys want to play left to the university and right to the university. Okay, that's great. I like that, but give me USC. last game of the season. An undefeated USC team versus an undefeated Notre Dame team, ranked number 1 and number 2 in the nation. That is like a dream come true. And then they battle it out through 6 overtimes. Like, you've been treated to like the greatest thing since the egg white omelet. I promise you. But I think this is dumb. And I agree with you guys about Colorado. And they want Deion to fail. They want him to fail anyway because it's Deion. And that's the way it's going to be. But I think he's going to prove him wrong. And Ross said he's late. Don't worry about it. As long as you here, we good with that.
He might want to rewind and check some old stuff out, though, because y'all said some stuff earlier.
Who said something earlier?
All of us. You know, you got to go back to the beginning, get the whole show, get the whole effect.
Oh, yeah, we did. We had a lot going on.
Yeah.
Question
though.
Ross said, you know that if Deion fails, you're going to hear all the loudmouths come out. I hope he goes undefeated. I do, too.
Do we know the real reason why there's left titty and right titty state?
I don't know. Where are these colleges located, and when can I do a tour?
Let's go, man. Let's go. Keep the wheels on the bus.
And Ross says that will break my heart if my Irish join any conference. I'm with Ross. See, Ross is a smart man. Yankee fan, Irish fan, Commanders fan. I know he's not a Bulls fan, so that's okay. But he's a Cap fan, if I'm not mistaken. So 4 out of 5 ain't bad. I love it.
2 claps on the Ric Flair?
Woo! But man, it's all this is motivated by greed. Each move from conference to conference, but here's the thing: they're moving from the Pac-10 to the Big Ten, right?
So it's really it's just a bunch of stuff that's just happening. Like right now, I think the Big Ten is up to 18 teams, and there's a reason why that the Big Ten. So I listen to Cleveland Sports Radio in the mornings because I just like a certain morning show in this area, and they were talking about possibly Ohio State wanting to move the Michigan game. Of course, the tradition is Michigan, Ohio State play like right after Thanksgiving. It's part of like that rivalry weekend. I don't want to sound like Elmer the Fudd, but rivalry weekend. And quite possibly Ryan Day has been like, okay, maybe we should move that to early in the year. So that way we don't play that week and then turn around, hear me out. Then you turn around and play Michigan, Ohio State again in the Big Ten conference title game. So what he's worried about is since they've done away with the divisions, instead of hold on, let me finish. Once they did away with the divisions in the Big Ten, now the 2 top teams become the teams that go to the championship game. So as opposed to Michigan versus Ohio State being the qualifier to many extents for the Big Ten championship game, and then them going on to play Northwestern. Let's be real. That's what they end up playing sometimes. That or Wisconsin. It becomes we'll take the top 2 teams in the division. And that's the other thing that gets taken away. Is now you're gonna start seeing conferences take away divisions. So you're gonna take away natural born rivalries. But hey, we're gonna get paid. It's gonna be 18 teams. Yeah, it's gonna be a 4. I think we're gonna end up with 4 conferences. I think you're gonna have the Big Ten, you're gonna have the SEC. Somehow, I think if the ACC and the Pac-12 are smart, they fuse whatever they have left to create a conference, and then you'll have the mid majors.
And then you have your independents.
Well, it's only 5 independents.
It's
It's like Notre Dame, Army. It's only 5 teams that are in the
Army, Navy, Air Force. No, Air Force. No, Air Force and Mountain West.
Air Force is Mountain West, and Navy's in like Conference USA or something.
Yeah, Navy did sign with Conference USA. Yes. They're not an independent anymore. I'm thinking about 20 years ago. Jeez. Here's the red flag for me. You said the Big Ten has 18 teams. It's the Big Ten, just like it was the Pac-8, and then it became the Pac-10. But, that was the Pacific 10. That's what the Pac stood for. That was the teams that were on the West Coast, so they all could play each other. The SEC is the Southeastern Conference. Anybody that's not in the southeast of the United States should not be in that conference. The ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference, the Big East. That was every team that went in the ACC. Bro, this is fucking stupid and mind-boggling. You're loading up conferences with teams, and then some of these teams, like Maryland, shouldn't have never left and went to the Big Ten. Maryland can't compete with Big Ten teams. That means Maryland has to recruit.
They should.
Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State. You gotta recruit against these teams. These are powerhouses. You can't recruit against them. If I'm a linebacker and I'm from Maryland, you ask me, you got a choice. Penn State wants you, but Maryland is really trying to get you. I'm going to Penn State. I'm going to linebacker you. The fuck?
Yeah, KG, that's right. But you got to remember, see, the one thing that a lot of these conferences allow themselves to hide behind is the other schools, other programs. So Maryland leaving the ACC had nothing to do with the basketball the football program. It had more to do with they could get something with the basketball program. They could get more TV money because the Big Ten TV contract was way better than anything the ACC had set up. And if you pay attention, like FSU right now, they're holding the ACC hostage because they're like, hey, if we don't get more money, we're gone. It's going to be us and Clemson because Clemson is going to move. If Florida State moves, Clemson's moving too. Don't lie to yourself. That's going to happen. And real quick, to backtrack, it's Army, Notre Dame, UConn, and UMass as the 4 independents.
Paul says the Big Ten is like Weird Al reboot of Michael Jackson's Bad. You know I'm fat, you know it, come on. That was my shit though. I love Weird Al. Ross says there's no thought about the kids or the fans. It's a money grab. Just like when they did it with college basketball, Big East, ACC rivals. Man, nothing compared to Georgetown versus Syracuse or St. John. It's some ish. And I agree. It broke my heart when I figured out, okay, we're going to do the Big East tournament, but we're not going to play Syracuse. We're not playing St. John's. We're not playing those teams that I grew up watching Georgetown play.
It's because the formula doesn't work anymore. The being in, like, we also got to think about it this way too. We've come so far from a standpoint of technology that it doesn't make sense the dollars don't make sense just staying localized to the northeast part of the country, the southeast part of the country, the west coast part of the country, the midwest part of the country. Those conferences holding on to those ideals don't matter anymore because they figured out, and I'm going to say it this way, fans don't care about tradition. If you're 18 to 35, tradition means nothing to you. Their demographic, 18 to 35. KG, we the old dogs, we the dinosaurs, we the stegosaurs, we the Tyrannosaurus Rexes of this fandom. So we don't, our opinions don't matter because they're building a new future for these kids. And what's going to happen is they're going to create enough TikTok and Facebook and whatever else you're going to create. Twitter, X, shout out to Twitter, whatever it is, you want to create these things, these vehicles that's going to carry these networks on. And think about it. You want to see, like, on Big Ten TV, you're gonna see Texas versus Oklahoma from 1982. Like just stupid stuff. It's gonna kill some of the old stuff, but they're building a world that they're not worried about us.
Yeah, and it really feels like it's trying to pass us by and leave us in the dust.
Yeah.
And Ross says it, Midnight Rider. You're 100% right.
What did you call him earlier? You said he was a smart man. You said he was smart.
Smart man. Now we're gonna talk about this, but I made a promise and I'm gonna make it happen. So let's get to this last topic before we roll up out of here. Orioles announced that Kevin Brown removed from the booth for comments on lack of wins. Nobody's come out and say why this brother got suspended indefinitely for saying that the Orioles haven't won a series at Tropicana Field. Out of 16, they haven't won one. What did he say wrong to get him suspended? Please enlighten me, somebody.
You have rich people with small minds not being able to handle criticism about what they've done wrong. We've experienced it for 25 years. And I feel like sometimes when you get those people in power, they don't understand the truth. They can't handle the truth. And that's really what happened here. The kid, I mean, the numbers said it all, and it was a tropical disaster. I don't think he called it that. I think he called it something else. But
it was, I forget what it was. Hold on. It was a graphic behind them.
Right.
But
they've been owned by Tampa Bay. It's almost like if the Nats fired Bob Carpenter or Kevin Franson for talking about its futility last season in the NL East. The fact that they only won 7 or 10 games in their division last year. You can't walk away from those numbers. The numbers are the truth. And the truth will set you free. And if you're going to walk in the light, you got to let the light shine on your face and tell you the truth about what's going on and what you've been through.
Well, the truth is the way and the light.
There it is. And sometimes you got to get through the darkness to see the light going forward. And that's all Baltimore's done. Baltimore's been a terrible team in their division, and they got some help because MLB changed the way the schedules are. So now you don't play the Yankees 19 times. You know what I'm saying? Like there was one season 2 years ago, I think Gleyber Torres had like 30 home runs, and 20 of them was against Baltimore. It seemed like it might have been more, it might have been less, but it was the most inhumane number of home runs you could ever hit against one team in 19 ball games. It just didn't make sense. But back to the point is, if the announcer is doing his job, what's the problem? He's not going to kowtow. He's not going to genuflect at the Angelos statue that sits in front of your office. Because to be honest with you, you stunk. You've been a terrible owner. You just got lucky you hired the right guy 5 years ago, and he turned this around. That's the truth of the matter. You just made a good hire one time. And now the sun's shining on your ass, you acting like you too good to be told how bad you were before. And I'm going to sit back and let everybody else.
Boss BJ, you got anything on this one?
Not nothing from me. I agree with what the Midnight Rider said. There's no more to be said for me.
Hey, I don't have anything either because I was wondering he cleared it up. They let the brother go because they suspended him because he told the truth. And if you can't handle it,
30 seconds.
Look, he was long-winded. I didn't do it. But shit, we ain't gonna make it. Baltimore's version of Danny Boy is what Ross said. Eric jumps in. As I maintain, fuck Angelos and son. I agree. Last but not least, it's time to wrap that shit up, B. Before we get into this last semi-topic, I gotta show this. I gotta give a big shout out to my oldest son Dario.
Mm-hmm.
Because my man did it today. He walked across the stage, got his diploma today, and I think tomorrow he's slated for a job interview. So he's doing way better than I was doing when I graduated high school. So congratulations to him. Question to everybody. Okay, we got the FIBA World Cup roster, and Team USA's out there. They winning and everything, and I'm like, who the hell are these guys? You have Jaren Jackson Jr., Brandon Ingram, Mikal Bridges, Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson. Those are your starters. Coming off the bench, you have Tyrese Halliburton, Cameron Johnson, Paolo Banchero, Walker Kessler, Josh Hart, Austin Reeves, and Bobby Portis. I know when they play the FIBA championships, you have a less than recognizable roster. So I understand that. But when we get into the Olympics, please tell me we're going to have a LeBron James, a Anthony Davis, a Russell Westbrook, even Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant. We're going to have all the top name guys when we go play in the Olympics, right? Right?
Don't say Bradley Beal and then say top name guys. Can you not do that?
Don't Bradley Beal got a gold medal? Wasn't he one of those guys?
I don't think so, man. I mean, they kind of always have to do this. It's just like the men's team when they went, and I'm talking about the men's soccer team when they just played this Gold Cup. You know, you play the Gold Cup with sometimes the guys from your select team, the guys that you want to eventually get up to be on your main roster. So you don't always hold the main guys to all of these responsibilities, especially since the U.S. has kind of fixed the narrative of winning gold the last couple of times around. They don't have to fight their failures of the past. You know, they had, what was that? Like when the Redeem team had to come out and do everything that they did, that was a part of them failing in other situations. And I think they feel comfortable with their role in the world right now. So they can play some of these other guys and get them experience, because we don't know what's going to happen we don't know who's going in 2024. We don't know who's going to be there in 2028. So you guys start creating kind of a pool of players to carry you on in the future.
I get it.
Try not to be long-winded.
I get it. But I know you gotta have a pool to pick from. And ever since '92, when you basically it was the equivalent of forming the Avengers, the Super Friends, the Justice League, and Paw Patrol all at once, because it's the greatest assembly of talent that ever graced the basketball floor.
And the Montgomery Mafia.
And the Montgomery Mafia. It was the greatest assembly of talent to ever grace a basketball floor. But ever since '92, it's like you've had the top stars come out to the Olympics. And what was that, 2004? That they got the bronze medal?
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, and then you come back in 2008, and I think 2008 was better than 12. I'm sorry. I think that Kobe-led 2008 team was just, they were dogs about it. I love watching them play. But just my opinion. I mean, not better than 92, but, just my opinion. But I thought that even in the FIBA championships, you would get one or two stars. Not saying that these guys are not stars, not saying that they can't ball or nothing. But I don't know. I guess I'm thinking Olympic mindset. Get paired up, get ready so we can have some type of chemistry.
Again, we've said this many times on the show. I've said it, the boss has said it, and you said it. These guys don't play basketball all year round. So some of this is them just trying to take some time off because they don't want to play 82 games. They don't want to play these other games in these tournaments because they feel it's trivial, because it doesn't make them money, or not the money they want to make.
Okay. Well, and thank you, Rose. I'll make sure I deliver that message. Once we get done here, I'll be on a FaceTime call with the kid. He went to his mom's house. We trying to get him set up. You know, we're gonna get him a little suit and tie, little hat, and the boss BJ already got him lined up to get a 69 Continental with the suicide doors, and he gonna drive us around for the rest of the summer and part of the winter. So yeah, we not walking nowhere. So you need a ride. We get that going. That's his business right there, Tell him watch them corners though. Make me spill his yacht. It's $200 suit.
My suit was $125.
Hey, I don't get discounts like that. When you the boss, you get discounts. Ladies and gentlemen, we've done it in under 1:30. We were supposed to do it in under an hour. Didn't make it. 6 minutes over. It's fine. Be back in here Thursday night. I can't wait until this Baltimore scrimmage. Are they going to show that on TV? Is that going to be on some sort of channel, the whole thing, like they used to when we used to scrimmage Pittsburgh?
So I haven't seen the TV stuff on that. I would say probably check a stream, because more than likely it's going to be a stream on YouTube more than anything else. So that's probably going to be one of my most unproductive days at work, because I'll be watching the Baltimore scrimmage on. Yeah.
Okay. For the Midnight Rider. I got it right. I had to raise my hand. For the Midnight Rider and the boss BJ, I'm the big guy KG. We didn't do no overtime. Y'all. Thank you, Ross. Thank you. I got some reels to make tonight. Y'all gave me some content, so I got a lot of reels to make tonight. So for the fellas and everybody on special assignment, we are the Sideline Junkies. We don't do no overtime, y'all. We are out of here.
Acknowledge us.